You are now joining us for the first match out of the Iron League F4 play pool here. The most exciting play pool, arguably, in the MML. Week 5. This is, it's all going to kick off with this very, very, very exciting games. As you may know, we got a little hashtag going called Highlight That, hashtag Highlight That. And this week has already proven full of highlights, week 4, the past week. And week 5 is going to conclude our 2-week block before the first MML highlight reel comes out, being put together by A-Man in Tights, a.k.a. Tights, a.k.a. Tight Man. In any case, this is one of the games people have been looking forward to, is potentially just having a crap ton of highlights. Princes of Arioch at home hosting Stop Rolling Ones, a Wood Elf team. The Princes, of course, being a High Elf team. Let's take a look at what this leaderboard looks like here. The Princes of Arioch coming into the week at the #1 spot in this very tight play pool, where even arguably the number 8 team still has an opportunity to grab a playoff spot. And the High Elf team, Princes of Arioch, 2 wins, 2 draws. They are undefeated, and they are facing off against the Wood Elf team, Stop Rolling Ones, who is currently tied in a 3-way tie at number 4, and they have 1 win, 2 draws, and 1 loss. So basically the results of this game could dramatically affect the play pool, who goes to the playoffs, and have big butterfly effect ripples. My name is Serious Jest. I'm joined here in the booth by Stuff and Jug, who is the coach of the Repulsive Rattlings. I am the coach of the Hopeless Necromantics, and you see that these two are very close together as well, right there smack dab in the middle of the play pool, and we are going to announce this match for Sacerdotalist and ReznorRulesYou, and then they're going to turn around and announce the match for, well, at least Rez is, and hopefully we can pressure Sacerdotalist to join him in the booth.
I haven't wrangled Sacer yet, but we'll see how that goes.
That's Rez you just heard. And just want to give, I've been rambling now. I haven't even given Stuff the chance to say hello to everybody. So Stuff, I cede the floor to you, my friend.
Oh man, you can keep it. All's good.
All right. Well, so I understand the teams have taken the field already. They've been going through their pre-game warm-ups. Some of them are doing their hot yoga there on the side to stay limber. Others spitting in each other's mouths and hitting each other's shoulder pads to get them amped up and ready. I understand Stop Rolling Ones. Some of those guys have a little, they're a little crazy. They like to slap each other in the face to get things going. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway, this is the home team. A 2010 team value, really at the higher limits of MML teams in terms of team value. These guys are loaded, and that's 2010 TV with a lineman missing, who carries a contract of $110,000 to keep him playing because of his block skill and kick skill. Not having the kick might be missed. That's something Sacerdotalist likes to use a lot. This team, the Arioch team, it's a beast, and they can score quickly. They're aggressive and look for some aggressive play. They've got a fan factor of 9, representing 9,000 fans that follow them around everywhere. The Imrir Coliseum doesn't have any enhancements, but it is a level 2 stadium, meaning it's better than bottom of the barrel. They've made some improvements because this High Elf team is a little gritty, but they're still High Elves. They're not playing in some crap arena, right? We can't have that. So let's look over at Stop Rolling Ones. Stop Rolling Ones has a team value of 1,210 with the motto players.
Plus 5 journeymen, though.
Yeah, plus 5 journeymen. Each coming in at 70K, so that's significant. So Rez is only pulling in 450K in inducements in petty cash because of the TV difference. Is that right? 450?
Yeah, only 450.
Yeah,
and
just 450.
I'm pretty sure this is a personal record for SRO as far as inducements. So yeah, I don't know if you'd be happy about this or not, but.
And the motto for this team: players can be replaced, wins can't. I think that's one of my favorite mottos I've ever seen. It's awesome. But they live by that motto, as you know. Recently, I don't know how it happened, but they lost Terry Bruce, their team leader. Well, he's kind of been traded, if you really think about it. He's been the contract
he's
has been
still doing
traded.
some elfy things.
You may see him later tenoght playing for another team. So just throwing that out there.
I just realized that I'm going to have to call that game with Zombie Terry running around.
Well, you love Zombie Terry. Be honest. You love Zombie Terry. Zombie Terry is a guard zombie. Dude, how badass is that?
That last week means that That's the first time Terry has ever beat the Pirates.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So I thank you for that.
They tried to kill him. They tried to kill him. He was instrumental in that too. So anyway, so getting so Rez is missing Terry Bruce, but he's also missing Sexy Rexy, the other war dancer, Agility 5, sidestepper, strip baller, blodgers, leaper. His presence is gonna be missed, but Barry Bruce, Terry's cousin, has been recruited, and he's still green, but he's coming in here fighting, and he's going to try to be the linchpin that holds his team together, even though all of these guys, almost all of these guys are holding injuries, except Buttons, who is very healthy. Buttons the tree, faster than your average tree. He can get up with no problem. And greased up deaf guy who is famous for his saying while he runs down the pitch. So that's probably politically incorrect, but it's pretty damn funny. Fan factor, 7 fans representing 7,000 fans running around following team wherever they go, and those fans are all coming over to Arioch Stadium. And that is enough of the pregame. I am going to try to find this match now, which should be on Cabal TV. We're going to try to focus in the crystal ball at this time, and while I'm doing this, Stuff and Junk, you want to talk about what do you think? What do you think is going to be the pace of this game? Is this a lot of times elf on elf? People think, oh, really, really high scoring, really fast pace. Both these guys just going to fly downfield. Do you expect to see that today?
I don't know. Both teams are known for being able to do so, but we've also seen in a lot of games. I'm not very familiar with the ones, unfortunately, but I know the Princes will go more tactical. They play the bash game quite often, and they'll kind of slow it down and just try to wail on the other team, and especially with a Wood Elf team with that low armor, I think we're going to see that come into play.
It's a very good observation. Sacerdotalist, he has really established himself as a preeminent coach here in this league. People respect not just the teams that he is able to put together as a team manager per se. It's him as a coach that really makes the difference. And you've seen his style alternate from sometimes he's playing a really bashy team. He scores in 2 turns. If he's playing a team with armor 7, you have seen him slow it down and really milk the amount of hits that he's able to lay out. So I've backed this up. They're probably into turn 2 by now, I think, or something like that. I've backed this up to the beginning because I don't want to miss not even a second of this game. We watched the coin flick from that shady-looking ref over there, and it appears that the High Elves are going to receive the ball first. And knowing these teams, I'm almost guessing that Rez won the toss and Stop Rolling Ones voluntarily played defense first. I think that's what I would guess. And if one of them wants to tell me if I'm right about that, that would be cool. But no pressure. Also, I'd like to point out that the inducements. I think Rez, I stated them earlier. I'm not sure if that was while we were rolling live. You will notice on Stop Rolling One side, they did have a bunch of journeymen, but there's still a bench player, and that's because they went ahead and hired Eldril Sidewinder here, who everybody knows who this guy is. His nerves of steel, his pass block, his dodge, his hypnotic gaze can really make the difference in these games. So his presence can make a big difference here. They've also hired a wizard. And as the ball is kicked off, the fans storm the field. Wood Elves and High Elves don't like each other. And these fans break onto the field, go at each other's throats. It takes the refs a full turn to clear the field. And they're not going to give them credit for that time lost. They're just like, you're out. You're out for that time lost. Too bad. I want to say shout out to my partner in crime, Bernie Buffon, who is in the chat saying, go champs. Beers1313 also saying, what's up all? 2 great guys. I love getting in the booth with them whenever they have the opportunity. And speaking of being in the booth, I think I lost my announcing partner. He stepped out of the booth momentarily, so hopefully we'll get him back here. So again, Wizard picked up, Eldril hired. And I think that left room for, if I remember correctly, I think Rez said 2 babes, but I'm not completely sure. Just Stevie.
Wizard, Eldril, 2 babes, and actually the Princess chose to receive.
Okay, Princess chose to receive, so they liked. Okay, so they're gonna control the pace here. You're seeing Sadric sit back and just survey the field. By the way, Sadric has had a much more active season this season than last. Sadric has 74 throwing yards, and he is the F4 conference leader currently. which is already almost his total for the entire last season, and we're about halfway through. Now Eldro going to throw his hypnotic gaze on Chargos, the catcher, and that should and Chargos falls victim to his spell. Eldro's got those pretty. He's so pretty, you don't want to look at his eyes. And here comes an aggressive hit. And the Wood Elves are like, all right, you want to send guys down into my backfield? We're going to make you pay. Greased up deaf guy's even hitting somebody. And the Wood Elves, Wood Elves know how to defend against this kind of offense because they play it against people. Both of these coaches are extremely, extremely good. Rez has earned several different nicknames from his play style, which is he likes to take chances, but they are very calculated risks. He is an excellent, excellent coach, and he has named the nickname Gorilla Rez as well as Red Dice Rez for him knowing just when to use those red dice. And we're still not live. That's why this is moving pretty fast. Well, both of these coaches play pretty fast anyway. That might be the first armor break of the game, as Greased Up Deaf Guy is punished by Elric, and now Cimmeril is going to get in the mix there and slap down to the ground Athvin. Yurkun is going to come over and assist as Chargos tries to make Eldril pay for that, for charming him, basically. And Eldril gets punched at his moneymaker, and Eldril's like, no, not my face. Sadric takes a step up. And now we are going to see Buttons move. Buttons, it was a hard emotional decision for Reds to hire Buttons because it meant that Fluffy had to go bye-bye. So Fluffy was retired, I believe, or was let go. I don't know if Rez will bring him back as an assistant coach sometime in the future, or I don't think his contract was sold to another team. So I think he's into the coaching biz from now on. His career ended. And we got Lou Liz in the chat, one of our other MML preeminent announcers. He's saying fork, sleep, go elves. Which elves, Lou? There's both elves. So it's Sacerdotalist also kind of, what can I say, galvanizing the elf community here for a while, because for the biggest time it's been high elves versus wood elves, soap or no soap. Sacer was known as kind of like the godfather of MML wood elf coaches, and then a couple seasons ago decided he needed to switch and needed to start using some soap. Oh, by the way, while we've been talking, Divim gets knocked out with a double front kick to the chest, and he's gonna go rest for a little bit. So Stop Rolling Ones has really said, you know what, your armor may be a little thicker than ours, but we could scrap. Hashtag remember Terry. Terry Bruce's spirit still lives on in this team. And knowing that he's around in the league in the same play pool right now, probably they still get to talk to him every once in a while. I know I have put out an open invitation to any members of SRO that ever want to come by the Hopeless Necromantics compound and spend time with Terry and talk to him. He's still around. He's not exactly as fast as he used to be. Talks a little slower. Still kind of getting used to the weird aches in his joints and stuff like that, but we'll try our best to make him as comfortable as we can make him, and he definitely gets happy when he gets to talk to his old teammates. I'm guessing Stuff and Junk's kids must have woke up or something like that, or it was that. I know he's got him by himself today for the night, so maybe that's why he's gone for so long. Starting to feel claustrophobic in the booth. If any of you in chat want to jump in here with me and give us a second/third announcer, that would be really cool. And boom! Rakir is injured. And this is, wow! That is their strength 4 catcher, and you could bet the apothecary flies out there quick as hell. Of course, they have the best apothecary that one could buy for that kind of money, and money talks. The apothecary takes care of business really quick and heals up that catcher nice, and the ref immediately throws out the Wood Elf that did the fouling right there. So Thanithro, this journeyman, by all intents and purposes, he pretty much got off lucky. Everybody knows journeymen are cannon fodder. So when they get ejected for committing a foul, especially a successful foul on the other team, and then they get to live on, and there's no permanent injuries on them, this guy's going to be wearing a smile on his face for the rest of his life. Whatever else happens, I mean, he could get elf cancer, and he's going to still be happy that he got to play for SRO one day and make a positive contribution. And Arioch does not like being out-muscled by some Wood Elves, and Yerkun is going to retort. Eldril knocked down and stunned. He's just saying, they keep punching me in the face, not my face. Yerkun can be vicious. This team is vicious. I think it's ironic because of what's going on right now. Because again, against bashy teams, I know Sacer's game plan is normally fly down the field, score, and then just on defense try to surgically keep striking. But when he's playing against low AV teams, he milks the offense longer. He sends out death squads to really take advantage of that AB7. In this case, though, the High Elves have seemed to be getting the worst of it from the Wood Elves, and I'm sure Sacer doesn't like that at all. So are we seeing him have finally had enough and saying, you know what, screw it, let's just score? What a match so far, though. The action is definitely just speeding along. I just saw Lou's comment in here. Do you think Stuff's kids can scream if there's an overexcited American screaming every time an armor break happens? He's wearing headphones, so he's saying I'm so loud they can hear me through the headphones. That may be true, but whatever. And while we've been talking now, the High Elves decide to let Athven have it, and they play a little punch face, and the guard Wood Elf is removed from the contest. He is badly hurt. I mean, they have to help him off of the field, and we have Stuff and Junk back. Stuff and Junk, can you settle this dispute? Did I wake your kids up by screaming loud enough that they could hear me through the headphones?
No, not at all. It looks like my cable company needs to be punched in the throat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's most cable companies. Cable companies suck.
Oh, dude, they're terrible out here.
So yeah, Lou's saying brutal start. Definitely a brutal start. Injuries are adding up. And could we be looking at another one of those games where it becomes 7-on-7 on the field? And Sacer decides to stall a little bit. Running the elf stall. This is a brave move, honestly. Because Gorilla Rez can touch you often from any place on the field. Joe Fro, in the audience, he is asking around blatantly, is anybody selling Dignity Rocks? Dignity Rocks? Anyone? Again, we said there is no security gate at the stadium. There's no squid sandwich kiosk to keep the fans, busy and fat and happy, too fat and happy to throw rocks, or hands too slippery with squig grease to accurately aim rocks. So anything could happen during the kickoffs. Buttons is going to move into position here. Put a body on Cimarol and Malik. Gorilla Rez trying to figure out what is the plan. How does he counter this? By the way, where is Divum now? Is he still in the match? That's not the right side. And there we go. Making his move. Greased up deaf guy makes his move on Chargos. And he puts a body on him. Chargos looks shocked. How the hell did you get here? And tackle zones mean nothing to stop rolling ones. But you know what those extra steps do? And Gasservier is basically stumbles and runs right into Chargos' fist with his face. Chargos knocking him out, and this looks like an easy score at this point for Arioch, but Will they go right for it, or are they going to make Stop Rolling Ones pay for their insolence first? My money is on them making them pay. That's what it's looking like. And we've got, oh, they decide, yeah, they are trying to push Greased Up Deaf Guy out and surf him. Deaf Guy does not have the sidestep skill, so they are going to, oh, that's kind of disrespectful. Chargros decides to blaze his way into the end zone on the limp body of Greased Up Deaf Guy, who he basically kicks into the crowd and spikes the ball on his limp body. The crowd drags him into the stands and mercilessly beats him until he loses consciousness. Eventually, medics grab him, throw him back over into the kill box on the Wood Elf sideline, and the score is 1-0 here. Arioch looking pretty healthy, rather. And, oh, the knockouts get right back up. Yeah, these elves are chomping at the bit to beat each other up, and they can't be stopped. You can't keep them off the field. Stuff, while you were gone, did you get to check out that sideline at all? What are you seeing going on each team's side?
Oh, no, sorry.
No problem.
I'm back in now, man. I think I finally caught up.
Oh, no worries. I know the internet thing sucks balls. I hate when that happens to me. Yeah. All right, check it out. I'm going to switch my camera view, and we're going to go from the offense side. Now we're going to see, because really this game is going to be super offensive. So Sasser, remembering his days as a Wood Elf coach, has kind of incorporated some of that into his technique here. He likes to play one side of the pitch here, lining up three guys, not right in the middle. This is kind of like a hybrid you see of like this standard lizard man defense where you protect your weaker players here in the back with the guys that you're willing to allow to take hits up front. But he's got it kind of shifted to the side like that standard Wood Elf defense where they give up one wide zone and let things happen.
An offset umbrella.
Right. So that's actually a pretty good name for it, the offset umbrella. Yeah, so there was two babes. Somebody pointed that out, definitely. Yep, Eldril, two babes, and the wizard were the inducements. I don't remember if Rez said there was another inducement somewhere. I don't think there was.
That's all he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah. Beers. Yeah, I can't make the West meetup, but that would have been awesome if you guys were doing like in-room game. And I could have been there putting a mic in somebody's face. How do you feel about what just happened to you? Do you feel as violated as that looks? I think somebody would end up taking a swing at me. Both teams, again, brilliant coaching. The game is telling these coaches what we've already told them. They're brilliant coaches, and the game is going to reward them with basically an anti-nuffle gadget. Arioch overplays their kick. They are missing their kicker for this game, but no, they've got a backup kicker. That's how. No, that's a wrestler. All right, yeah, so they're missing their kicker for this game, and not having him is kind of, it backfires on them because they overshoot it, and Bentard's getting this ball for free and sitting back there. Now we get to figure out what's SRO going to do with this ball, with this offensive opportunity. They've got 4 turns in their pocket. They've got 10 players on the field versus Arioch's got a full 11.
Yeah, but being a Wood Elf coach, Rez is used to playing with fewer players.
Absolutely. But, so is Sasser, though. That's what I'm thinking. If this game gets to 7 players on each side, that's going to be interesting. I'm being told, this is hilarious, I'm reading this chat, Jofro was actually trying to plan to go to sleep watching this match, and he's like, no chance of sleeping the way I'm screaming. Jofro actively now also pissed off because no rocks have been thrown. It looks like Rez is creating kind of a loose cage there in the left wide zone. This is a Sacerdotalist move. This is something right out of that playbook. You're going to leave me the Y zone open. I'm going to create this impenetrable setup here where you can't cover all of my potential receivers. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be...
Nobody's safe as long as Yurkun's on the field. That is one mean blitzer there.
Yeah, the thing about this is, though, and this is what, I mean, Sasser does the same thing to everybody, right? Yurkun can leap in and hit a ball carrier that's sitting amongst, you know, a loose cage, a several layer screen. Yeah, they can get to them, but you can't get to a ball carrier that doesn't have the ball. You know what I mean? Like Rez is putting a bunch of options over there. He's got a ton of scoring options right now, and potential receivers, and I don't think it's possible for Sasser to cover all of them. The best he can do is even get a body on them, and that's not going to be easy. So they can't take the ball away if the ball's not there yet, and they can't reach the guy that's going to throw the ball. This becomes a problem.
Indeed.
This is a conundrum that Arioch often puts people in, and now it's being done to them. So it'll be interesting if he can play the antidote to his own poison. And while we've been talking, Malik gets a nasty root boot to his face, and there's a blinding white light. He hears a crack, and he's temporarily blind. I think he's saying mommy.
It's hard to tell. They are high elves. That may have been money.
Money? Money, where are you? My sweet gold. And Sasser is going to... Looks like he's going to set up an elf column. So chances are, I mean, the way Sasser set up, you saw, I think that was a saved defense. That was, I don't think he didn't have to move his guys to that. So chances are these guys have been placed with a forethought of, you know, okay, if somebody does this and this happens, can I get where I need to go to counter this? You don't just give up the left side without having thought it all the way through. And there you go. He's able to set up elf columns, so maybe the score is not automatic. We've got one column set up.
We also see Sasser's kind of fearless with his going for it.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind having those guys run down the field just a little bit more.
Well, Arioch walked in with 4 rerolls. Well, 3 rerolls actually, and then they just got an extra one, and there's only 3 turns left. So he's got more than enough rerolls right now where he can risk a go for it. There you go. Blitz is only successful in pushing that journeyman back. The second set of columns is set up.
And we may see the third go up momentarily.
And this is smart right here. He's also sealing off the ball carrier, the thrower's route, passing route. The storer will have to...
This isn't a high elf thrower. He's not trained in the art of safe throwing.
Correct.
So we'll have to...
By the way, you're coming in a little bit low there, Stuff. I don't know if that's maybe just me. I don't know if the chat can yeah, Stuff is really quiet, Jofro says as well. So I don't know if maybe you need to speak more into your mic or the settings need to be higher for you, for your mic settings.
Any better?
Yeah, I can hear you better. Hopefully the chat can too.
Already.
There you go. Yeah, you sound a lot better now. And there you go. So basically, like you said, this is not a high elf thrower. He's not trained in the art of safe throwing. So basically, if you're throwing past these catchers, there's a built-in reroll on their interception. So they get 2 chances to roll a 6 and snatch that ball away. And actually, because of their agility, it might be more than 6. I mean, it might be easier than 6. It might be like a 5+ or whatever. So Sasser's done a good job of making this very difficult.
Yeah, as you said, there's no real good option here. Throw into the.
I mean, there's obviously Sasser has laid some minefields for him, and and Rez is gonna remember. Rez does this same thing to people too, so this kind of okay, that doesn't help him much. So he knows how to deal with this pretty well. Oh well, now that opens up some possibilities. And that's the difference maker right there. The hypnotic gaze comes into play now. So the elf column is kind of, countered by that. The only problem is, again, it's like he used that blitz on the catcher, Chargers, because he doesn't want that catcher running around. He'd like to hurt him. But I gotta say, I think that this thrower really could have used somebody blitzing one of these potential interceptors out of the way.
Right, yeah, I was thinking the same.
Oh, he's just gonna go around him. Like, I'm not worried about that. Just go around him. It's that simple. And the ball goes in the hands of Barry Bruce, trying to make his cousin proud, who's going to hand it off to greased up deaf guy, and we are going to be seeing a 83% chance dodge right into the end zone. No pressure, no problem. Greased up deaf guy makes it so easy, running into the end zone screaming, "Hey you guys!" Little acrobatic move there, and the score's 1-1, just like that. This is starting to look more like a shootout. What do you think, Stuff?
Yeah, it's getting that vibe right about now.
You may have seen the antidote. I mean, Sasser probably wanted to slow it down. That was the game plan. But I think he's quickly realizing that you slow it down on this coach, you may not be able to hold on to that ball for very long.
Right, both teams have a similar skill set, so it's almost like playing against yourself.
Yeah. They have a very particular set of skills. I don't have a lot of money. What I do have is a particular set of skills that makes it very difficult for you to stall on me. And there's those rocks that Jofro was calling for, and a rock comes out from the crowd and hits Yirkun right in the head and stuns him. Oh man, just think that fan could have been distracted by a squig sandwich, but instead, hungry and angry, decided to take his frustrations out on the high elf blitzer.
That couldn't have been a dignity rock. I thought dignity rocks had some type of seeking mechanism where they wouldn't hit other high elves.
Oh, I don't know.
Joker's in the chat saying he missed.
He said, wait, I'm trying to interpret this comment here. Robo Whale says, "Jest, I will find you." Oh, he's talking about the take it. I thought he was saying that whoever was throwing that rock was saying they were aiming for me. It's like, what did I do? And now it looks like Sasser's turning around and showing Gorilla Rez, "Hey, let me show you how you do this little side, the little side wide zone screen, impossible to stop reception thing."
You know, guys, this is why it hurts even more. So much of my game is predicated from watching the Treehawks dominate the MML Pro for four seasons, I think. This is why it hurts even more.
Yeah. And this is what's funny is like, you know, as I saw Rez set up the wides, I'm thinking, oh, that kind of looks like the Sasser thing. And then you saw that it was good, but you know there were some little holes in it. It just wasn't something with. There was a certain je ne sais quoi, and then the pro just comes in and sets it up with, oh no, you missed the spot here and here and here. This is how you're really supposed to do it. But what he didn't count on was his catcher Cimarron bobbling this ball, burning the reroll early in the turn, and that had to get Sasser a little nervous at first. Sadric now holding the ball again. If Bitchy feels a lot better about that. And he's going to back up. Putting himself just about out of range. And Arioch now trying to take advantage of that AV7, and Nuffle says no! Tendrick II is knocked out by this journeyman who is irked. He says, no, you will not pick on me. I will not be bullied. Screw freshman hazing. I own you. Back up. His name is Dinhane, and if he keeps it up this way, he may impress Coach Rez enough that he gets a chance to stay on with the legendary SRO. This also potentially changes the situation. Or is it a Trojan horse situation? We'll see. So Sasser, as a veteran coach, has gone up and set up his play anyway. So, I mean, you know, the double skulls is not the end of the world for his play if he manages to retain the ball by the end of Rez's turn. Eldril coming in, using that hypnotic gaze, making it so that Chargeros will have to be standing in the end zone to have the pass thrown to him. He doesn't just get to sit there. Covers Rack here with Bentard II.
Here comes Deaf Guy.
Yeah, Lou's a big fan of Eldril, and I can totally appreciate him. See, I did not understand. I've maybe used Eldril a couple of times when I ran with elves. I didn't understand how valuable he was. This hurts. They're going to lay the law down on Rack here, but Rack here can take a hell of a punch, just like he can dish them out. He'll be getting back up. But yeah, I didn't realize that you could run to somebody and then hypnotic gaze them without using your blitz with Eldril. But that changes things completely. I thought in order to do that, you had to use the blitz. That makes
this is no stab. It's a whole different game.
Yeah, that completely makes it so much more of a valuable skill. Other than that, I was like, how is hypnotic gaze useful? Like they're just gonna wake right back up in their turn as soon as you're done.
And the boot. Well, Sandal.
Oh, and the Eagle Eye ref is just sending everybody off. Fortunately for Rez, like I think you said, Rez is used to playing with less players, so I mean he can take it, but I'm sure he's not happy. And every time that he decides he's gonna foul a high elf, the ref is just all up in his business. I saw that. I saw that. I saw that.
There may have been some pre-game bribery that we didn't see.
Maybe. A certain company has been known to get involved with things. Well, we're not going to go down that road again. You and I both know that company very well.
Yes, indeed.
Sasser trying to figure out what his next move is. Do I stay or do I go? Looks like Buttons is getting called on to do something. I'm not sure what that is, but it's something. Oh, that's not buttons, not yet. I don't know why he made that noise. And here comes Elric with that frenzy attack. If at first you don't succeed, swing again. Elric is a vicious dude. Would you believe, Stuff and Junk, that if Shawn Michaels was to fall tonight, which let's not talk like that or dwell on it, but in a hypothetical world, if Shawn Michaels was to fall and he was no longer in the running for league stats, the biggest brute for the first four conference would not be one of a storm vermin, a vicious storm vermin, or one of those nasty crocs from Aztec Gold. No, it would be an elven high elf blitzer named Elric, who has knocked out 4 players so far this season. In 4 games, he's knocked out 4 players.
Oh wow, yeah, Elric, he sometimes seems to live in the shadow of Yurkun, but he's got his own tool set.
Absolutely. You're still coming in a little low.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Elric, he a lot of times lives in the shadow of Yurkun, with his leaping antics and whatnot, but Elric definitely has his own tool set, and he can be quite deadly.
Absolutely. And look at that. The knockout's getting up. Again, you cannot keep these elves off the field. They can't wait to jump on each other's throats. There's no hiding. There's no sandbagging and knockout here. They're just going at it. And so Arioch scores in turn 8 to go up 2-1, and it's going to give Gorilla Rez a chance, a.k.a. Red Dice, DJ Red Dice, a chance to run downfield and one turn. And Rez is steadily building a reputation to be as good a one-turner as Sacerdotalist has a reputation for. I also want to give a shout-out to Calcium Kaz, a.k.a. Cece. He said he's in the chat saying a bit of Blood Bowl before bed. Yeah, nothing makes your dreams sweeter than watching elves kick the shit out of each other. Or Blood Bowl after dark before you go to bed. Jofro chanting more rocks. Jofro was sleepy before. Now he's up and screaming more rocks, more rocks, more rocks. Lou Liz is selling rocks. He's hawking rocks off on the side of the field. Get your rocks on. Get your rocks on fire. Bernie's asking whether Rez has pinched Kaz's playbook. No, actually, Bernie, this vicious elf style of play is right out of the pages of the Sacerdotalist playbook. If you watch, the Princes of Arioch are the most vicious elves in the league, in my opinion. They are nasty.
Without a doubt.
Give them a chance, they will stomp on your throat. Campbell saying elves want to jump on something, but I don't think it's throats. Innuendo.
Yeah, normally I'd agree with you, but yeah, the princes are definitely violent.
Very violent. They love blood. I mean, one of these guys, I think it's Elric. Elric bathes in blood. If you've ever read, there's Sasser writes stories about these guys sometimes. You can find them on MMLpro.com. There's one story about Elric bathing in, I think it was human blood or blood from somewhere. Just take baths in it. He likes it.
Yeah, he had to get all the Skaven fur and whatnot out of his fingernails.
So Sasser is pretty much, he's not going to try to prevent the push. He's going to go with the standard alpha lineup back here. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this setup. I mean, Sasser's a very good coach and he knows what he's doing. But if I was going to go with the, all right, I'm going to let you push my guys whichever way you want and just do the line across the back here, I would make it so it's one guy every other space. So if you have to dodge through the middle of them, you're looking at 2 tackle zone dodges, and then you put the tackle guys on the ends. And there's a pitch invasion. The fans fly onto the pitch and start punching people in the head. And I gotta say, I think that just helps Gorilla Rez.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, that was quite a lucky invasion there. The line held.
Yeah, if they would have lost, I mean, if Deaf Guy would have been hit, if any of these players would have been hit, we could be talking a different story here. Deaf Guy doesn't need much. I mean, he's not a sidestepper, which hurts. This is curious. The hypnotic gaze fails.
Trying to get rid of that guard.
Yeah, the guard. And Buttons is going to have to make stuff happen. This is where the grab comes into play. Ooh, Rez very lucky that Buttons did not root on that. And here comes the blitz. Oh, wait. It's not a... Okay. So he's going to go with one. All he needs really is one push with Deaf Guy, I think. Deaf Guy's got movement 9 and I think sprint. Yeah. So he is in scoring range right now. And just to sweeten the pot now, they're going to push him in extra space. But, now he's still got a player. He's out of people to blitz with. That's what sucked about the invasion. Oh, and Nuffle says no at first, but the extra trading this week comes in handy, and Bentard is going to really have to come up under pressure here. He throws, and it is picked off.
What?
It was caught by an elf, but the wrong elf. That was a game-saving play potentially right there. If this comes down to a one-touchdown difference, what happened? It was an interception by the very by the elf that was used to chain push Deaf Guy. So Rez made a decision there at the end, right? When he knew he was only going to get a push on that, he said, "Okay, well I can push Deaf Guy the extra step in the other direction, but kind of put this guy right next to him." Or I can push this guy away and let Deaf Guy make 3 GFIs. And Rez decided I'm gonna let it be 2 GFIs. I mean, yeah, 2 GFIs, and push the other guy right next to him. I don't care. I'm gonna throw right over this dude, and I'm gonna let Deaf Guy catch it with this guy in his face and then dodge out. There are a lot of good statistical reasons why that was probably the right choice to make.
I was planning on doing the extra go for it to get out of interception range, but then I failed to pick up, so I had to burn the reroll there. Because I
extra.
Oh,
gotcha.
After the pickup in the in that go for it.
Gotcha.
But, damn elves.
I mean, that was still. I think that had to be a 6 for the interception. Yeah, it was a 6+ interception. What are the chances? Well, 1 in 6. But that's big. That is big. Not a lot of interceptions in the MML Pros this season so far. In fact, there's only been 2 before that one.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. I know that normally they add to the formerly growing list of interception leaders for the MML.
Right. Everybody was getting 1 a game for a while. But I will say this, though. This is a fun fact right here for us, since, again, I just compiled the current league leaders today, matched them up with the stuff that Don Eagle was pulling off of the server through his own program, because we're kind of trying to sync up and make sure that basically I don't have to do this by hand anymore in the future. But yeah, positive results anyway, they match. But we didn't get it done in time enough to release them like in a published article, so instead we're kind of just, we're going to be talking about them during the games that we announced during the week. In any case, 2 other interceptions this season. Both of the prior ones were also in this same play pool. So all interceptions in the MML have come in the Iron League first 4 play pool. The 2 previous ones, Snick Snaggletooth from the from the Snitchburg Pirates has an interception, and Wax Off from the Disco Diva. So the 2 prior ones were only Iron League, and now the first 4 has just joined the interception race. I didn't even catch what the name of that elf that caught that ball was. Wonder if that was Tendrick. I'm not sure. We'll be able to figure that out later. We're going to kick off the second half now. And again, the fans are just really getting
wild.
Yeah, I think Arioch won over some fans, and they're really going crazy now in their home stadium because of that interception. It really galvanized the fans, and all of that extra cheering and and love coming from the sidelines, and the ladies showing their breasts at Arioch and saying we love you. That really gets the players charged up, and that could be the difference. Who said that? Just Stevie in the chat. That play was right off the top, Alf. I see what you did. I see what you did there, Stevie. I wonder if Lou's messing with us. Is the German word for one really elf? I don't know. A blitz on Chargers from Wasserveer. He's going to be unsuccessful. What he's going to do is push him back. Camo Critter asking about the highlights. Actually, I should have said highlight that, but I just feel like there's going to be so many more highlights in this game. That's a potential highlight that candidate. Definitely, I would agree with that, especially if it ends up being a difference maker. I try not to do more than one highlight per game, though. So right now, I'd say that one, the interception to close the half out, is probably the leading candidate right now. Yeah, so the whole I mentioned this I think at the start of the game as we were getting ready to kick this off, but we are doing an MML highlight video. It's going to be the first one. Is going to be for weeks 4 and 5 put together. So we're going to do the we got a soft cap of 10. So our aim is to do top 10 highlights of the past 2 weeks. Of course, we will only be considering highlights where people actually submit them to the Man in Tights. I'm going to be looking out for the games that I announce, or if you announce that you have a favorite highlight. If you announce a game, or if you play in a game and it's not being announced but it's being streamed, as long as it's streamed somewhere, you just have to let a Man in Tights know through DM on the MML Discord. Just send him a direct message and tell him which game it was, preferably where it was broadcast, so where he can find the broadcast. If you can provide a link, that makes it a lot easier for him. And just say what turn and what happened. And there's Eldril trying to hypnotize. Oh, we lost Stuff and Jug again for a second, but he stepped out of the booth to go get himself, see if he could find rustle up a squig sandwich somewhere. In the meantime, Intric the second will not be charmed by Eldril. He said, sorry, dude, I'm not into guys. Stop staring in my eyes like that. In fact, back up off me. And he pushes Eldril away, although he's unable to fell him. But then he follows up, so maybe there is some attraction there. I don't know. Will they? Won't they? I don't know. I heard about the Orc one-turner, Lou. I didn't see it, so I won't be submitting that. That game was amazing, though. Even the way it ended was sick. So that was Dwarf Giant versus... Who was he playing? He was a good coach, too. It was V-Power V's team. Dwarf Giant versus V-Power V. And there is the frenzy. And Elric finally gets his victim, Sidewinder, down on the ground. Good placement by Rez, though, because with buttons there and Barry Bruise, it makes it a lot harder to foul Eldril successfully. And this is what Sasser likes to do. He doesn't like to sit you back and let you sit back there with the ball like that with your quarterback, or in this case, a very fast catcher. So he is going to send Rakir down the field along with a buddy. He does like to send two-man teams. Cimarron is going to run down that way too, and they're going to try to wall off Greased Up Deaf Guy from the rest of his unit. Either that or force him to push that ball downfield, but he's not going to just let him sit there and do whatever he wants to do. Uncharacteristic of Rez's offense, he actually does not have anybody in scoring range right now. So the best that Greased Up Deaf Guy is going to be able to do is center this ball more toward midfield, and then he's got to survive It's probably going to be a leaping onslaught into whatever screen or cage that he has set up. And if he can do that, then he gets another shot at the touchdown. So we shall see. This is dangerous. There's basically nowhere that Rez can go with this ball that Sacer cannot threaten to touch. So it looks like Sacer is tired of being reactive on defense, and he's going to try to control the pace of the game. It is hiding, isn't it? I noticed that, Lou. It's hiding on my it's hiding on my Cabal vision. I don't know if the players can see it. I know it was an inducement, but it's not in. Yeah, it's not showing. Maybe that's a patch issue? Sneaky Rez. I mean, the symbol's missing, but there's a big-ass cart on the field. Well, the bastard lives. Where he's staying. Alright, we're seeing the blitz. The Wood Elves are tired of Elric hanging out, trying to terrorize people, so they push it back, I tell you. Back, you foul beast. Rez doesn't like the cage. It looks like Sacer's putting baby in the corner. No problem, stuff. Join whenever your internet gets back up. I'm just more worried about stuff. If your internet can't hold being in a party, we got to play a game after this. So hopefully you get it working. So you see a Rez setting up what looks like a loose cage over there on the right side of the field. And Greased Up Deaf Guy is going to showcase his speed. And, oh! He tries to show off just a little too much. And that could be the game breaker right there. Uh-oh. Greased Up Deaf Guy tries to bite off a little more grass than he can chew right there. Falls down, stuns himself, and leaves the ball sitting at the feet of Dinhane, the journeyman Wood Elf. And it's very clear what the plan is for Sacer now. Arioch wants to score. They've got a hunger for a touchdown. And that hunger needs to be satisfied. Lula says, it's not crazy easy, but it's easy. This touchdown. That's all it takes. One bad die roll. When you live by the dice, one bad die roll can do you in. Now Sacer's setting up. This is, for you young coaches still learning about the game, understand, we all know what he's going to do here. We all know he's planning to run in with the Ag5 guy, take that ball, dodge out like so, pass it to the open receiver, and go in for the touchdown. But he took the time to set all this up because bad die rolls do happen. And if they do happen, he wants to make sure he's making it difficult for the Wood Elves to recover that ball. So even though this goes perfectly as he planned, and we're going to be seeing the princess go up 3-1, you know, still all of that stuff that setup was completely worth it just because the insurance, the peace of mind. And there's not going to be any stalling here. Arioch is going to just rack it up. Racks up the points, and he takes off his helmet. And he's like, I don't just bash. I score. This is a tough situation for the Wood Elves. They've got two of their elves ejected. One of them is hurt. It helps that the knocked out elf comes back. Arioch is completely healthy. By the way, it looks like stuff is not coming back really soon. I could really use a co-host in the booth. If anybody in the chat wants to jump in here, I can quickly send you an invite. Now would be a good time if you want to. Anybody wants to throw their hand up and volunteer. I mean, let's be honest. If you're watching this game anyway, you guys are typing in the chat. Come on, it's more fun to throw your headset on. Just talk some stuff. Jump in this booth with me. Let's have fun. Plus, I really want to get up and get something to drink really fast. So, I'm going to do that even though I don't have a co-host. And you guys are going to have to suffer dead space here. Be right back.
Do you think there's going to be any action at all in this game? I'd like to see something happen. Or I'm just going to go and watch Game of Gnomes instead.
Building a cage around the ball here. It's a solid tactic.
Looks like this. It's not going to be easy to shift.
I'm not so sure.
I don't know if anybody can hear me out there. I couldn't help myself. I was having a meeting down by the goal line, and on that last touchdown, I don't believe the High Elf ever crossed the plane. I don't know why they're out here playing. This is absolute controversy. We've seen this before with High Elves. He didn't cross the plane. He was too busy showboating, and he didn't score a touchdown. This should be a 2-1, and the ball should be on the goal line. That was a turnover, clearly.
Uh-oh. Controversy. Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. There was something wrong with my mic before then. Obviously, because I was talking, but you couldn't hear me. So, awesome. Glad to have, this is the OG announcing team back here in the booth. I mean, not the OG, but pretty damn OG. We were in this in the beginning. I mean, we know Git and Leothangia were the first guys in the MML doing it, but this feels good to get the team back together.
Speaking of getting the team back together, it looks like the Wood Elves may be going for a one turn here. They've got the hypnotic gaze on the first piece, that thrower.
is exactly what it looks like they're doing. That's sneaky, sneaky.
And they're preparing for failure on this one, though. They look to have put a player back. They're zigzagging. They're doing the touchdown dance, and there it is.
Damn! That's
And like I said, this should be a 2-2 game right now.
Greased up deaf guy just showcasing. He was like, listen, just because my name's not U-turn and I don't do this every turn doesn't mean I can't. Well, that's what he said in his head. In reality, it sounded like, all the way to the end zone.
The man can't be stopped. I mean, as far as one turning wood elves, I mean that greased up deaf guy was probably the first one that we saw really popularize the one turn. I mean, he started off down in the challenge leagues, and you know that was part of their regular repertoire. So yeah, this is one of those where he's no stranger to dealing with these these one turn situations.
The farm days, my version of one turning was putting him on the line of scrimmage and hoping I got a quick snap.
Well, now Rez has become quite the one turn expert. You know, coaching in the champion ladder recently, one turning to take it into overtime, one turning in this match, almost successfully one turning at the half, really just being stopped only because of the interception. I mean, quite a one turn expert our young Rez has become.
Yeah, this is one of those where I mean both sides of the ball here. I mean, both these teams just have the movement that you need, the agility you need, and I mean that may not be the last one turn we see because it's gonna be on the Prince's shoulders to keep this pressure up and get one more because you can't trust these wood elves. I mean they could easily tie this back up with just one flashy play.
Absolutely, it's still early. I mean, Prince has got 5 turns to try to survive, and Rez has 4 to take that ball away from him and score again. And I don't know, so on your Cabal Vision shots, do you see a wizard icon?
I don't see the wizard icon
like
anywhere. I see an apothecary one.
No, there's a space for the wizard icon, but it's not
It was
showing.
doing that to me when we were calling that game.
Okay, no,
Jest.
I am seeing it now. I see the apothecary still over there for the wood elves.
Wait, how do you see? You actually
be...
see the card for the wizard?
Yeah. Mine's showing up in the far right.
Oh, mine's not. Yeah, mine just has like a blank space. Like the space is there, as if it's for the card, but the card's not showing.
Mine didn't look like it at first, and then I hit the up arrow to show the weather and the apothecary, and it appeared after I did that.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. It's not. Yeah, it's just Rez was saying the same thing during one of the games that he I think he called one of the Challenge League games with me, so he couldn't see it. Couldn't see the wizard or one of the Champion Ladder games, or Champion Cup rather. And while we've been talking again, Arioch trying to give the Wood Elves a little bit of business. You know, trying to show them, hey, look, you ain't getting back into this game. All right, don't get any bright ideas. We'll beat you up.
And it looks like they're going back to their aggressive style here, throwing their hits first. One thing that I have noticed from the stands on that, none of these high elves seem to want to stay around Buttons too long. Scouting report on Buttons must have been something ferocious because Buttons has been pretty lonely out there.
It hasn't helped. He's actually rooted a couple of times, not letting him like really put bodies on people the way he wanted to. But then again,
he's only rooted like one time on the first one-turner attempt. I cannot have you besmirching Buttons. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, but I don't know. You know, I was trying to put my finger on why he really hasn't been a factor, and I think the teams are scoring. Yeah, the teams are scoring so quickly that it's like he doesn't even have a chance to put bodies on people because
the tree is very nearly useless against elves, and you know what a huge proponent I am of my tree men. The tree is not a good guy to have against elves. But hey, he's helping in other ways.
Looking at the field in that, though, it does appear that he's soaked up most of the water in that area. The grass is actually getting a little bit wilted and brown right near that center of the field where he's been soaking up every last bit of moisture out of the ground in that. So
we're hoping he'll be very hydrated for the game against the Skaven next week.
I wonder if that's a real graphic effect.
It's getting a little patchy there. It's getting chewed up in the center there where the treeman's been clopping around and stomping on random high elves. But if you
That's
look at
crazy.
the further extremities, the logos on both sides appear to be very well manicured. That the High Elves really bringing out the grounds crew and freshly painting on the detailed Stop Rolling Ones logo this week. I mean, a lot of stadiums will just kind of do a half-assed job on the visitors logo, but the High Elves definitely attention to detail. They want everything to look crystal clear in the high def crystal balls across their lands.
Yeah, this is not a stadium with enhancements, but they did make it a level 2 stadium. They have upgraded it. You know, they consider themselves kind of like a grungy team or like a boots on the ground kind of blue collar team for High Elves, but they're still High Elves. They need to have something a little fancy.
Well, and part of that may have been, after winning the championship last season, they had to accommodate for the increase of fans, coming to all these games and that. I mean, everybody wants to show up and ride the bandwagon a little bit here, and they had to accommodate to make room for all these additional fans that they have.
Absolutely.
So what we're seeing on the High Elf side, though, I have to give him credit. I mean, his awareness on the field is one of those where he left 2 throwers back because of the threat of the wizard, and that's immediately seen with the War Dancer coming up. If a wizard would have been in play and lightning bolted a single quarterback, this could have been a prime opportunity. But with the second player back there, it looks like the Wood Elves aren't able to go as aggressive as they may have otherwise.
Right. They're not in
Looks like
desperation
we're
mode yet.
Getting a blitz from the catcher there. No, that was a lineman, but he's successful with the KO, and that's going to take a scoring threat off the table.
That's a big scoring threat. That's their one-turner, too. If he stays knocked out, that could really hurt this High Elf team.
Well, the High Elves do have enough movement. They could they can accomplish it without him, but it's a lot more difficult. I mean, the movement 9, I believe he was, is just so huge. I mean, they still have the movement 8 piece that can definitely get there with the range in that. But yeah, that's one of those where it takes a little something out of their playbook, losing that player.
And look at this. This is
Oh.
I mean, it's like Stop Rolling Ones is just taking. They have taken the playbook away from the princes. I mean, this is the stuff that Sasser likes to do to people. And I gotta say, in this respect, putting the pressure on Rez is doing it even better than Sasser was trying to do it to him.
Well, they're little by little they're trying to take pieces away, and it looks like Buttons is not happy with that location. He's leached up all the water out of the ground. He's looking for greener pastures, maybe possibly some grass fertilized by High Elf blood.
Looks like Rez ran out of time. He didn't pick up Dinhane off the ground.
Yeah, that looks like it may have been close, but it's tough to say, and it will. Vengeance will be swift. It looks like those 2 open players are moving and moving up to mark the greased up deaf guy and the Word Dancer, Barry. Are you getting marked, Barry? Yes, I am, other Barry. Yes, I am. So the High Elves moving over. Looks like they're gearing up for a throw. The Sadric the thrower, a strong arm High Elf thrower, just a deadly weapon, and he's going for a long pass here. Makes it look easy. This is taking me back to the Dignity days where the long pass was for style.
And look at that.
I can't even see. The catcher took off so quickly that I didn't even see him walk in. Did he dance at all or anything? My graphics kind of screwed up.
No, this time he ran up to the line, and then he slowly stepped over it, looking at the booth, as if to make a point.
I was distracted. Somebody brought me a beverage in that. I didn't notice it at all. Did they actually go in this time?
This time he made a big, overarching, exaggerated move as he stepped into the end zone and looked up into our booth here.
That's good to hear. I don't want any more elf shenanigans there. I mean, we've had enough going on so far with all the fouling that. Although it does look like the high movement catcher didn't wake up. They should have taken a little bit more time, let him revive himself on the sideline some. Looks like he came up a little short on that one.
Absolutely. By the way, I thought it was curious right here. This is telling me something about Sasser's kind of the confidence here at this point, right? I think he was in a position, correct me if I'm wrong, to when he caught that pass, I think he had enough elves around him to probably stall another couple turns over there and kind of drain Rez of some time to come back. And he said, nah, I don't need to do that. I'm going to go up by 2 now and just, I don't think he's catching me. I think he's doubting Rez's ability to catch him.
Well, and I think that's the right call. This is one of those where he's basically begging him to go ahead and go, okay, you go 1 turn again, and then we can do this dance again. It's really one of those where if he can stay up 2, he'll let him 1 turn all day. It's not his job to stop the 1 turn. It's just his job to stay 1 touchdown out of range at this point. So, yeah, I think he'll be happy with a 2 touchdown buffer for as long as he can get it. And if he has to stall a couple of turns, I think he'll be fine with that. But yeah, this is one of those where he needs those 2 touchdowns because stalling with a wizard on the table is pretty dangerous because you can end up in a 3-3 tie in the blink of an eye with wood elves out there. I mean, they can find a way to score just as quickly as the high elves can.
True.
So looks like they're gearing up again, and this could be another 1 turn attempt. But they've got greased up Deaf Guy on the line again. That they are definitely not giving up on this one, but this is not making it easy by any means.
Yeah, this is definitely a 1 turn coming. Well, as long as nothing goes crazy wrong, like on the setup for it, then I think he'll adjust. But
yeah, he's got it loaded up pretty good over there. Looks like he's making some adjustments. He's got the 1 push calculated in. And yeah, that's gonna throw a cog in the wheel. The only real benefit that they have is that the perfect defense doesn't allow the high elves to flood that backfield. This is one of those where if this happened to be a blitz, it would have been an absolute nightmare for him.
Looking at 5-2.
I hate to say it, but this is really one of those where it's an effective maneuver, but I mean they still have opportunities. I mean, this is one of those where it just takes 1 push to get greased up Deaf Guy far enough to really make some damage. The biggest difficulty they have is greased up Deaf Guy isn't a traditional offensive catcher. When he was coming up, the league was a little bit different, and he took a little bit different approach towards his offense. Doesn't possess that sidestep skill that he really misses sometimes on these occasions.
Absolutely. And what is it? He's level 6, right? Yeah, so he's not gonna. Oh, he's only. I didn't even think about Greased Up Deaf Guy is only 27 SPP from leveling and getting that legendary.
Yeah,
wow.
we recently saw a story with Hantavirus and not getting the respect that he feels he's due for reaching legendary status. I mean, there are a handful of players that are taking the quiet route towards legendary, and this is going to be one of those where we're going to start having a countdown pretty soon for Greased Up Deaf Guy. I have to admit. There were a few close calls with Greased Up Deaf Guy that I didn't think he was going to make it for a while. That he's really needed a little bit of luck on a few occasions just to stay alive to get this far.
Man, he can take a punch. I'll tell you that much. When we played him, different people from Hopeless Necromantics hit him the entire game, including Shawn Michaels, and he just kept getting up. I mean, pylons from Michaels and just kept getting up, like.
Yeah, he may not have the high agility and strength that you see on other players and that, but he's just got he's just got heart for days, and that's one of those where you see it over and over again. The ability to endure throughout the worst occasions. So we'll see if Eldritch Sidewinder can find a way to impact this one, because this is looking like the perfect defense is really well set up, and this is going to be difficult to get the push required. And even if they do, it looks like that second row is just an absolute nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Oh! He's going to spend the money here.
Problem solved.
And not that effective.
Yeah, that Coach Rez had a rather famous fireball coaching a Skaven team recently, and this is pretty much the opposite of it. Just a very ineffective fireball. I have to imagine he was looking to get at least one more player off the pitch, possibly. But this may open up just enough for him. If they can find a way to get a push or something in here,
Yeah.
it looks like he's found something.
And that's going to happen, definitely. But I just...
And looks like we're going to get a War Dancer. War Dancer's going to load the... No, he's not.
Okay,
He staggers on the first attempt. Barry not used to carrying the laundry here. They've got a load of players, and we're going to get...
That's all he needed.
We're going to get a quick shove here.
15 seconds left on his timer, so whatever he's going to do, he doesn't have a lot of time to do it.
Well, it looks like he's calculating the push, and we're gonna see Bentard make a grab for it, the low strength thrower here, a player that we've seen for quite a while on this team. Many people speculated that he may actually get cut from the team, but he's continued to do his thing, and he actually may have overcompensated for his strength. It looks like he slightly overthrew the pass, and it lands right in front of one of the High Elves here.
Two crucial sets of snakes at two different times this match for SRO, and it's just too much. I think that's game, set, match right there.
If you were looking for the High Elves to stall before, I think this is the point where they may grab the ball and drop back into a cage with the Wizard off the table. I mean, a lot of their main threats have been removed. They're going to just need to protect this ball for two more turns of Wood Elf offense, and this will be safely salted away.
What an unfortunate, quick, and I was hoping this was going to be a barn burner with like an exciting final finish, and yeah, it looks like that's off the table now.
Well, I mean, okay, now no.
Yeah, there's no caging going on here. Sasser's like,
High Elf punt possibly here.
Oh, wow. So in an attempt to really exert dominance here, the Sasser plays it fast and loose, and he wants to score again. He wants to make a statement here. We didn't just beat these guys. We didn't just solidly beat these guys. We kicked their ass. He wants the scoreboard to reflect that.
Well, that is one thing that the Princes always do. They tend to be very high scoring, very offensive play. This is just their style. This is just them playing the type of Blood Bowl that they like to play. They don't traditionally stall unless they feel there's a strategic advantage. At this point, even if they gave up a touchdown this next turn somehow, I mean they're looking at a win right now. So this starts to fall into those just piling on, getting the extra hits, getting the extra stats. I mean, this is going to be one of those where they may be looking at just getting that catcher a few more rushing yards for the stat sheets. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. I mean, these High Elves, they are very vain, and they're going to pad their stats wherever they can find them.
Little stun action going there. Bentard the second takes a spill.
Yeah, that's injury to insult there. He strong arms the throw a bit too far, and then for his efforts gets punched in the back of the head by a High Elf lineman. So yeah, not a good turn of events for Bentard. And it looks like basically instead of throwing blocks and all the Wood Elves, they basically have just bottled them up so they don't have any room to dodge. This is one of those situations where normally if there was just a little bit of breathing room, they'd be able to take a step and at least take a swing at the player. But it looks like they're without being able to really move freely, it's going to be rather difficult. And this might be an opportunity for the old Sidewinder to try and pull something off. He's been sporadic with his gaze. It looks like he's actually putting drops in his eyes now. And he does. He locks eyes with the guard piece and pulls him away. His attention is completely distracted, but I have no idea. I have no idea where they could possibly go from here, though. These Wood Elves are bottled in so so tightly from the High Elves that this is going to be a difficult few steps here if they're going to try and get a clean hit on the block. Oh no, it's a wrestle ball carrier. Nope, screw it. Go on through. And the attack is good. And this ball scatter is going to be huge. Ball is
so
free.
That's what she said. I didn't even know how to. I was like, that's what she said.
And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Greased up deaf guy is still within scoring range.
Is he?
And no, he's in the end zone.
He is in the end zone. So Rez is going for the long pass instead of.
Oh, that is a ginormous pass, and it looks like he'd be relying on possibly a loner to make the throw.
I mean, reroll is used for the turn anyway, right? So
no,
it's gonna be Barry.
No, looks like they're going the direct route.
Barry Bruce
with the ball
would make his cousin proud.
He's got to take 2 more steps to get free. No, he's going the opposite route.
He was trying to hand it off to the loner, and ends up tripping and getting knocked out. This is a smart move. Smart play.
Barry appears to be safe on the sidelines now. He did his job for the game, and he's over on the sides grabbing a drink. It looks like that.
You know what? To his credit, as he was falling to the ground, that extra effort to hand it to Dinhane, the loner, saying, "Protect it with your life." That was pretty ballsy.
Well, I hate to say it, but that may actually be very much true. This may be the loner's last gasp for doing anything, because
the loner's like, "Wait, what? No, I don't. Oh no!" And Hirkun shows him the stars, and now it's in Eldril's hands. And
Eldril might want to quit looking and come up with an exit strategy, because he is in a bad spot. He is surrounded by High Elves.
He's looking at Karalak and Divum. Divum, by the way, who's already killed somebody this season. He is one of the 24 players in the MML who has killed someone this season. Goes to take a swing at Eldril, while Eldril's like, guys, can we just talk about this first, guys? Can we?
Talk is cheap. Actions are speaking louder than words, and the second attack is going to come up successful, and they still can't get a good scatter.
I mean, now, fortunately for them, this is a 67% pickup, and now it's an 83% pickup.
And they want blood, and they're going to get it. They can wrestle that player down, and they will, and that's going to open up a path into that ball. So.
For Sadric, too. To sure hands.
Yeah, the highly skilled thrower.
Oh, no sure hands. He's just got the pass skill.
And this will be interesting. This is a pretty easy throw for him.
Nobody in scoring range. So he's probably trying to
But the real question is going to be who are they going to trust with the ball? They do have a lineman and a dodge player over there. They're going for the lineman. They're going clean over the dodge piece. And the lineman, not accustomed to getting the ball, doesn't really know what to do with it at first. And it looks like he's going to follow the lead of his fellow lineman there.
Smart play.
And that's going to put him a fairly safe distance away. That looks like only 1, maybe 2 players can actually get over to him. Fluffy making a heroic run towards it, but gets distracted by other players and immediately hooks right.
No, this one's Buttons. Fluffy's the guy, the old one.
I'm so used to Fluffy doing his shenanigans and that with his one movement and loads of personality. It's still a bit of a learning curve getting used to the new boss. It's same as the old boss, just a little bit quicker.
Yeah, a lot quicker with the movement 3. And there's the dodge out. Rez is not giving up this touchdown. This is about pride. He's going to re-roll.
And pride's going to be effective, and that is That is a fairly nice maneuver to try and keep this at 4-2.
Pride is not just a swimming movie with Terrence Howard in it. This matters to Rez.
And the thrower coming over to try and offer some support.
Yeah, and Arioch has a reroll too. We may be seeing the lineman just do his thing.
It looks like Greased Up Death Guy's waving to throw it to him. He still thinks they have the ball at this point.
Ooh, Eljo cannot charm this lineman right here, Iron Trick.
Yeah, it's at this point the High Elves have all been hit on by him, but several times. I think they're starting to wise up that he actually doesn't care. He's just running around like a 21-year-old kid at the bar at 2 o'clock. He's just going for anything that's moving.
There's a whole Chappelle skit about that too, like moments in hookup history. Maybe the last ditch attempt at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, he's pretty much anything with a pulse at this point is it has been his approach.
Uh-oh, are we seeing Arioch back over by, what are they doing? Are they doing a little choreographed dance over by their logo?
It looks like he's actually cleaning off some of the debris that fell onto it. Some of the charred remains from that fireball actually reached over there. Looks like he's brushing off the logo to make sure that it's pristine before they make their final maneuvers.
That is pride.
Yeah, they are very vain. They don't leave anything any little detail missed, and that's why their team is so successful. It's just simply because they take care of the small details before really trying the bigger actions. We saw it earlier when they were doing the defensive touchdown, making sure to throw their blocks and make sure that everybody's covered. Before making any of the risky actions. It's just those small details that really make the difference for these High Elves. And it looks like they're attempting to clear up the blitzer, it looks like.
Yeah. I think that's what you're going to see. Yep, absolutely.
And he's coming in. He's got one go for the attack.
Not
Easily makes that maneuver, and the tackle skill coming into effect. A wise move, making sure to get that tackle in there. So that's going to open up the opportunity for the for the unskilled lineman to make his mark. Not too skilled with the ball. Looks like he bobbles it a little bit and safely makes it in.
5-2 final score. Wow, I did not think this was going to be the result. I don't know about you, Shots. When I was going into, I thought this was going to be one touchdown difference in the results.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit closer, but it really is one of those where, I mean, 5 touchdowns, it kind of comes off a little bit like the old Tainted game from Dignity, just to the point where the Wood Elves just couldn't quite keep the pace with them. But yeah, no, it was one of those where I expected it once the touchdown started rolling, and I expected it easily to be the 5-4, 4-3 kind of a game, possibly even being a 5-5 tie. But yeah, the Wizard didn't do the Wood Elves too many favors, and the High Elves just kept the pressure on with moving the ball every chance they could with 5 successful passes. I mean. It kind of tells the story there that they were able to get their passes and catches connecting and get the ball in the end zone in a hurry.
Yeah, and overall I saw a game where the dice were not particularly skewed to one side or the other, except that there were 2 really key instances where double ones came up for stop rolling ones, and that was just the game hinged on those, and to me, the one play that just really made the biggest difference here was at the end of the first half. Rez had that one-turner set up. All he had to do was get the ball over there, and Sasser's elf rolled a 6, intercepted it, and stopped. If that game had been tied up 2-2 at that point, we might be looking at something different. I think everything that stemmed from that was like a reactive result of that.
I hate to say it, but I think the person that had the biggest impact on this game, and the one that we're going to forget about, is that damn ref. That damn ref kicking players out, taking that high-value pieces. off the field. I mean, what else needed those players? I mean, they could cover the receivers better. They could set up their offense better. If the ref doesn't decide that he's going to show up for work for a change, if he would have just grabbed a cocktail, relaxed, enjoyed the sun, enjoyed the fanfare and that, he'd be a lot popular. Now he's got a bunch of Wood Elf fans out in the parking lot ready to beat him to death.
The life of a
I'm
ref
pretty
is
sure
tough.
that ref's already dead.
So yeah, that who you hear in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, is Coach Rez. Rez, you came in here already kind of knowing you were fighting an uphill battle, missing several players from your team. Some of them missing in game. You were missing your Wk5 war dancer. You had a new war dancer, basically leading the team, and greased up deaf guy trying to put the team on his own shoulders and just make things happen. I mean, is this? Was this as hard, I guess, as you thought it would be? Is it harder than you thought it would be?
First, though, I want to take a minute to recognize the longest tenured player on my team. He's a hero to us. We had to give him a skill that he wasn't quite prepared for, wasn't expecting. We taught Gossavir tackle, and he really utilized it today. He really absorbed the training, the old training videos from Terry, and he put forth a good effort, but. Yeah, without strip ball, with only one movement 6 tackle guy, it was not easy. Sacer is awesome. The Princes are a great team. I was not expecting to win. Wasn't really expecting 5-2.
To be fair, that score is not really represented. I mean, the game was really close until the very end, when all of a sudden stuff just steamrolled.
Yeah, I mean it goes that way. Like I said, I mean the team's great, Sacer's great. The early ejection sucked. That kind of threw me off. Made me a little like what the hell? I can't foul him anymore. But the fouls were at least working. I can't complain a ton about it. Damn high elves kept waking up. Double ones. The interception. I mean, I looked at it. I should have just let it go, pushed him to the other side. But I was planning on being hoping to be able to pick it up and then do a go for it to go to the angle. And when I failed to pick up, I bailed on the go for it, thinking, oh, he's just got to roll a 6. And it did not come together. I still had a lot of dodges to make, to be fair, too. It was not a sure thing.
Right. Well, actually, it wasn't at that point, because of the pitch invasion. You were pretty safe. You had one dodge.
The pitch invasion took down the catchers that he had on either side, but they were lined up in a column. He had 2 deep where the invasion actually happened. There was no tackle where I was going to go, but it was still 267s and 83, and then the go for it's with sure feet.
Right.
I would have liked to have attempted them.
True.
We've been hearing a lot of talk from different coaches, really bragging about the different star players and which ones they like, and that Eldril came out. I mean, he cost your team a lot. How did you feel about his performance? He seemed a little bit more into flirting with the other team than actually performing a lot of the plays.
See,
and that was that part of the game plan?
We heard a rumor. These high elves, they're all fancy, and they like to get into some interesting things that we will not discuss on a family program. And so we hired Eldril, and we said, I want you to go stare into Chardros's eyes as lovingly as you possibly can every time he runs down the field. And he did that pretty well.
Yeah, it really seemed like he was getting a little bit stalky by the end there, just kind of going after pretty much any player close enough, trying to hug them or just get any kind of physical contact with them.
Eldril has a very strong reputation among the elf community. We all love him, but he gets a little handsy sometimes.
A little clingy.
Yeah, that's why we love him, but it's also why we punch him in the face from time to time.
He did get less effective as the match went on. Like, the word got out on him. It's like, really? Bro, you just hit on my friend, like, last turn, okay?
But, I tried to use him to try to neutralize Chardros, because you have to activate him in order to get your catch and all that happy stuff. So I think I was happy with what he did. I was much less happy with that wizard. Where is the wizard from my clatter game? Because I need him. That's the guy I want.
I think he's on a strict contract for the champion ladder and the champion cup. I think Breach wants to keep everything MML isolated in MMLs.
I demand a Wizard collective bargaining agreement that says that they are allowed to work for whatever league that the coaches deem fit. I want him to be my personal Wizard, not in-house Wizard. Every Wizard should be him. But great defense, great adjustment by Sacer. I mean, I would have had to try to do like some crazy leap stuff without dropping the fireball and using Eldril. So I just, at that point, the game was pretty much out of hand, and it was just like, all right, we're going for it.
You needed the one-turner, I understood.
Yeah.
In retrospect. Do we have Sacer in the chat still?
Yeah, I've tuned in now.
Oh, awesome.
Great game again, Rez, and thanks for announcing, guys.
Congratulations on a great victory. So it looked like the game plan, correct me if I'm wrong here, it looked like the game plan going in was the usual Arioch versus 87 game plan, which was like, hey, let's just take our time on the scoring and beat the piss out of as many of them as they can, get the attrition going. But it looked like Stop Rolling Ones responded very aggressively and then forced you to rethink, okay, new game plan, let's just outscore them. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I definitely take the opportunity to stomp on Dirt Elf whenever it's available and isn't going to threaten my possession of the ball. But then when Rez, I think after the first turn where I was hanging around in the backfield when he decided to send some threats upfield, then I didn't want to dilly-dally too much back there and risk a lucky blitz or a turnover on my part, exposing him to a blitz. And so that forced my hand to kind of ratchet up the scoring game.
Right, so points for Rez in that he forced you to get away from your game plan, but unfortunately for you, unfortunately for him,
a couple times now. It's a dance at this point.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, you were like, okay, fine, I go back to Wood Elf mode. All right, we'll do high-powered offense. I can do that too, whatever way you want it. So.
Yeah, and then the one-turners, the repeated one-turn attempts definitely make me adjust my defense too, because I typically am not that afraid of one-turners, because even with such a great scorer as Greased Up Death Guy and in the best of circumstances, really they should fail more often than they should succeed, but they just kept getting in there, and so I eventually tried to move up my defense to stop the pushes rather than just make the dodges in the goal line.
Deaf Guy doesn't know the odds, he can't hear them.
I like that. Well, guys,
but definitely got lucky on the Wizard, kind of flubbing that fireball. But
well, I did run out of time earlier when I blitzed Barry, Deaf Guy, and I think maybe a loner or something down and left him. I was going to drop the Wizard, and at the last second I was like, oh shit, I haven't moved buttons yet, and I moved buttons, and then I ran out of time.
That was my secret Wizard casting a spell of confusion on you.
Well, you played it great the whole time. You had the lightning bolt covered back there with the AG5 catcher. I would have needed some things to go my way.
Yeah, definitely. The threat of the Wizard forced me to keep that secondary ball handler in the backfield, which slows down the offense as well. So holding on to the Wizard as long as you did definitely slowed me down a little bit in the second half. But then with the perfect defense coming up, your hand was kind of forced in order to try and salvage that drive.
Yeah, I think it was like turn 14 by that point, and there's no point holding it anymore. I'm already in a bad spot, so I may as well just burn it.
Rez and a few of the other Wood Elf coaches, Sacer, have said that they've studied your playbook, and and the Treehawks is kind of like their template for growing up in this league. Did you feel like while you were playing this match and setting up your offenses and stuff, did you feel like you had a student of somebody that had studied your past and was kind of like knew what you were up to and heading you off at every pass? Like was it weird to have that?
I wouldn't give me that much credit.
Well, like Rez said, we've had this dance a couple of times now, so I'm not sure if either of us did anything that was massively surprising.
I think we both come out with the mindset of, because he's got AV7 catchers. I was trying to foul them. That's who I target with the blitzes. We're both trying to remove as many players as we can before the other one says, all right, you need to score now. And then we just start trading scores until somebody rolls some ones, which is usually me. So I'm going to keep blaming the dice, even though I say it all the time that Sacer is definitely better than me. And like I say, I've watched him with great interest and continue to get my ass kicked. One day I'll beat him.
In terms of strategy and game plan, I will say that I think it's interesting. I think I play the most conservative two-turn elf offense of any of our pro elf coaches right now. I don't think I've seen anyone else that dedicates their offense to that two-turn score like I do. I'm not sure if that's
you minimize,
necessarily
unlike our
behind
other
my
elf
success
coaches.
with the offense, but...
I was just gonna say, well, unlike our other elf coaches, and I've had this conversation constantly with both Lou and Rez, I'm like, out of all the elf coaches, you're the guy I point to as, you are an elf coach, but minimize the amount of dice you throw, as if you're a Bashi coach, right? Which is
I definitely try to. I feel like if I'm ever making a roll that isn't a 2+, I have to think really hard about it. So, without strong arm on Sadric, my thrower, I wouldn't be throwing those long passes. I'd be adjusting my positioning in the backfield so that I'd be throwing a 2+ pass rather than a 3+ pass. So I really don't plan to score with any rolls that are higher than a 2+, until the feces hits the fan and I have to adjust on the fly.
right.
That's the game plan.
Right, whereas, like, you got, like, Lou, you got Rez, you got Stuntman Didi's a prime example where they're like, I'm just going to throw dice, 36 times. Double
Stunt's a
ones?
madman, and we
What
all
do you
love it.
mean? Yeah, Stunt will nail 350% on you and then complain about the 67% that he missed. Like, you bastard.
He should buy the stadium upgrade that allows both teams to use 2 rerolls per turn. I heard that one's coming out in Legendary Edition.
Are you kidding?
I'm kidding, yeah, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. You never know. They nerfed Pylon, anything is possible. Because this is, they nerfed Pylon. They're trying to back up the Agi teams. But
Darn right.
That's just me grumbling. In any case, Shots, you got any other questions for our coaches?
No, great game by both coaches. It's really one of those where it's a good example of what elves are capable of, and yeah, it's just one of those where I know that Rez doesn't like to take too much accomplishment there, but yeah, it was really a good game. I mean, he was pressing for the win and or a tie near the end, and I think that's really what opened up the opportunity to get the 4th and 5th touchdowns. I think if he wanted to play it slow in that, he could have only lost by 1, but he would have been forfeiting the option to actually make a game out of it. So I give him a lot of credit for keeping his foot on the gas and trying for the win. And I mean, the Princes have been one of those teams where season after season, game after game, they will take advantage of every small little mishap that happens. I mean, they have the positioning to have the guy in scoring position to get the relay when the ball squirts loose or when a cage isn't completely airtight. So yeah, it was a nice game to watch on both sides. And I'm still not sure that 3rd touchdown actually crossed the plane, though. I'm pretty sure that he started celebrating and dropped the ball outside the end zone. But I mean, whether it be 5-2 or 4-2, a great game by both of you, and appreciate you letting us all watch you do your thing.
Yeah, thank you. I would nominate my Chardros's block into the end zone to score for my highlight of this game.
That was nice too. Yeah, there was so many to pick from in this one. That was good too. The interception and that one are my 2 favorites.
I think just Eldrick running around, looking into High Elf's eyes over and over again was my highlight of the game.
There's a lot of good shots of him and Chargers staring lovingly into each other's eyes.
Just maybe hit the time of my life, and just over and over again, him just gazing,
running up and gazing in everybody's face. That's funny. So I'm getting DMs from Stuff and Junk. He said Pierce's internet has stabilized. So if you guys, I don't know, invite. I don't know what you guys are about to do, but if you would like to announce our game, we would appreciate it. We said we're probably gonna give that a go in like 5 minutes or something like that. If you guys are still available, all 3 of you, or any of the 3 of you.
as ungrateful as it makes me seem, I'm gonna have to cut and run.
You got a newborn, I understand.
Yeah.
No worries. So maybe Rez and
You were
shots.
supposed to throw that playoff game to me so that you could spend more time with your kids, Sacer. You're a terrible person.
Yeah, you're a terrible person for ruining all of our dreams. I easily could have beaten Rez in the finals.
Oh, no, you just turtled up again like you did when we played in Season 4. Turtled up and hit on the ball. Don't take the ball from us.
Yeah, I was just playing for overtime.
I can offer you a new dream, and that is that you can get a free Princes of Arioch 2-time champions poster at the end of the
Oh,
season.
No. Oh,
With
I
an
just
autograph.
threw up a little bit in my mouth. Just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have any players if they won two. All their heads would explode from the ego overdose. You'd have to go get an undead team of former former high elves, because they'd all be zombies when the necromancers came through and revived the corpses.
I'm still pretty frustrated. The last 2 times, well, the only times I've played the princes with SRO, I have made him burn his apothecary on like turn 3 or 4 on like a major injury. The damn apothecary works, and then none of them could keel over dead. This is a real problem.
Yeah, that's when the rest of them are like, okay, guys, activate, don't get knocked out mode, don't get knocked down mode. They put on the real armor at that point. But
this is not fair. That soap is a biological weapon, and it should not be allowed on the pitch.
So
if it's a bioweapon, you might be caught in its sphere of influence and be scrubbed whether you want it or not.
That sounds like a job for Eldrick. Or Eldril.
I think they're using the soap to mark players for death from werewolves.
Eldrick will let you wash them, buddy. Go ahead.
Purify yourself in the waters of Lake Winnetonka. So do you think we could get the old school More Shots and Rez announcing team for Hopeless Necromantics?
If I've got to wait to play For Honor, then you can 2 shots.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've got to wait around another few hours for my game. I start at 11.
Or do you really? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I've got nothing but time.
All right, let's do it.
Did you play this week?
Dreamwild.
Oh,
yeah, that's going to be a banger.
So it's fitting that we do it in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow. That's going to be like 5 in the morning for him, right? Or 4 in the morning, something like that.
That's the time he wanted. He would rather wake up early than stay up late. So.
Okay. He's like, I got up at 4 in the morning. I did my 6-mile run, and now I am ready.
He should save his time. He can run during the game.
Oh, snap. I can't miss that game.
Trippy's cold for breakfast and shit's diamonds.
I cannot miss that game. That's a must. All right.
It's gonna be,
All right,
so,
I'm signing out, guys. Thanks again.
Hey, take care, Sacer. Always fun, buddy.
All right, I'm going to end this broadcast, because we'll stay on in the party and just talk about details in a sec, because we probably start the next game in 5 minutes. I just need to do something real quick. All right, so ending this, MMLpro.com. Check it out if you have not already.